Happy holidays and welcome back to the Messy Cook. We're going to start some Christmas baking. So over the next few weeks, you'll see some easy peasy Christmas treat recipes posted on my page. So I hope you join along and make some of these recipes and let me know what you think. Today we are making super chocolate fudge, and I have the ingredients ready. 2 cups of chocolate chips. I have 1 can of Eagle brand sweetened condensed milk, but any brand will do. I have 1.25 cups of icing sugar, sifted. It is important that you have to sift this. Make sure it's sifted really well, because when we add it in, if it's not and there's any clumps, you're going to have clumps of pockets of icing sugar through your fudge, which is not good at all. Some vanilla and a pinch of salt. This is really easy. You can also add nuts if you want at the end. If you do, it's about 1/2 cup of nuts. And I'll show the recipe. I can show it right now if you want. This is, if you can see that, hopefully 1 package or 350 grams of chocolate chips, which is also equals to 2 cups, 1 can of sweetened condensed milk, 1 1/4 cups of icing sugar, a pinch of salt, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and 1/2 teaspoon of chopped nuts. That's optional, or you can put whatever, you can put chocolate chips in if you want, but it's probably just going to melt. So on low heat, you're going to get a heavy bottomed pan, and you're going to add the chocolate chips and sweetened condensed milk, melt them. When it's completely melted, you can just mix in the rest of everything. A little bit of the icing sugar at a time. You're going to mix it till it's smooth, add in the vanilla, the pinch of salt, and then you're going to spread it in either wax paper or saran wrap lined 8-inch square pan, and you're going to chill 2 to 3 hours in the fridge. Cut it into squares, all ready to go. This makes 2 pounds of fudge, and this is, in my opinion, according to the ones that you buy when you go to Niagara Falls and get all these different fudges, this is really comparable. It's rich, it's super chocolatey. If you're a chocolate lover, you're gonna love this. Super sweet. When I cut them up, I cut them in just like 1-inch squares, if that, because that is more than enough. So we're gonna get started. And turn my burner on. I'm gonna put it right on to low. We're gonna add in the 2 cups of chocolate chips, and I'm gonna add in the can of sweetened condensed milk. Just pour that whole can right in there. Make sure you get it scraped out really well. You want every last drip. Something about sweetened condensed milk just makes everything absolutely delicious. So we're going to get that all in there. And we're going to start just stirring it constantly. You'll see the milk will start getting brown from the melting chocolate chips. Yeah, that's nice and cleaned out. And so, yeah, I'm just going to get this. I'll just tip this here so you can see, because I don't have an overhead camera. There we go. So we're just going to mix this all together on low heat. I'm just going to keep mixing and mixing and mixing, and I'll show you about the halfway point and then the point we're at where we're going to add in the rest of our ingredients. Okay, so this is about 2 or 3 minutes in. You can see the chocolate is starting to melt, and the milk is getting a little bit brown. So we're just going to keep stirring that, and we're going to come back, and it's just about done. Okay, we're almost there. You can see there's still a few lumps of chocolate chips left, so we're going to stir this for another 2 or 3 minutes. This has been about 6 minutes so far. This looks like 7 or 8 minutes. Be patient with it. Definitely keep it on low, and we're going to come back in a sec. Okay, so these are all melted, so now I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Now, if you decide you want to flavor this with something different, I mean, the vanilla is always good to add anyhow, because that just kind of balances flavors out. It's 1 teaspoon, but you can do, if you want mint, do peppermint flavoring. You can do orange if you like chocolate orange flavor, raspberry, maple, pretty much anything. The other thing too is I'm going to stir this in here so you can just kind of see there, hopefully. That's just going to loosen a little bit. So you can change the chocolate chips. I like milk, but if you like dark or semi-sweet, you like white, you can use melting wafers, as long as it equals out to be like I said, 2 cups or 350 grams. So here's my pinch of salt, and we're going to add in spoonful by spoonful the sifted icing sugar. Again, that's a couple teaspoons full there, and we're just going to get this mixed in. So I'm just going to kind of show you from the top what we're looking at here. So we want to just make sure that no matter what, we get it in there nice. The reason it looks like it's lumpy, it's actually not. The reason, you can see this is going to become very thick here, and you're going to want to be sure that this is sifted, because as this gets thicker, if it's not sifted, like I said, those lumps of icing sugar will end up being pockets in your fudge. So I'm going to add this gradually and come back when we're just about done. Okay, I'm getting near the end and you can't really see in the pot here. I'll try to tip it a little bit so hopefully you can see that. We want to make sure that we get those edges clear as well. This becomes really thick, otherwise I'd hold the camera in place, but the pot will fall off the stove. So you're just gonna really get in there. This is a good one to start with the kids, and then the grown-ups kind of finish, because it becomes very thick and it is difficult to stir, or hard to stir, just to make sure everything gets in there. So we just want to be sure, as I'm scraping the edges of the pot down, that every tiny little bit of that ice and sugar gets in there, and it looks like I've got everything in this way. Give it a good stir, make sure there's no lumps. So this is what you're looking for. This lovely, thick, yummy, delicious fudge. So we're going to move over to the counter and get it in the pan. Okay, so we're back. Please excuse my messy counter. I'm doing a whole bunch of baking today, so I've got all kinds of stuff out of roasted nuts for some other things later, but those will be a few recipes that you'll see as we go along. So I have an 8x8 or 9x9 pan, whatever you have. I think this might be 9x9, but that's okay. And we're going to just pour this fudge in. Like I said, you can see how thick that is. We're going to get that in. I like to try to, I think I dripped some on the floor. Oh, and scrape out as much as I can out of this. I may have to get a scraper. Or yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Give me 1 second. I'm going to come back and get a scraper to scrape this out. Okay, so yeah, I wasn't able to quite get everything out with a wooden spoon, so I'm going to scrape that off. This spreads it, if you do it right away and don't leave it, it spreads out pretty evenly on its own. You may have to help it along a little bit, but that's okay. I'm just going to set that aside, and I'm going to scrape the rest out of here because you really don't want to miss any. Like I said, this does make about 2 pounds. It's a lot of fudge. I mean, nobody really eats huge amounts of fudge anyhow in one sitting without getting a major sugar rush or a cavity. But yeah, this is really delicious. So I do hope you try this recipe. The other thing you could do, if you want to zazz it up, you could marbleize it with some melted white chocolate. You have to keep 2 pots going at the same time. Personally, I think this is really good. Now I'm going to lift up the corners just so that gets in, and make sure this hits all 4 corners of my pan. It's not perfect, but remember, homemade doesn't have to look perfect. I'm going to try this. Oh my god, yeah, that's just way too good. So sprinkle it with nuts if you want, or if you do want to add nuts to it, you can add nuts at the very end. Stir them in, pour it into the pan. I'm going to take this pan, I'm going to put it in my fridge, I'm going to chill it for 2 to 3 hours. When it's all done, I'll take it out, show you how firm it is. This freezes great. Like I said, you can flavor it up with whatever you like. Orange flavor, peppermint, leave it as it is. Do dark chocolate, milk chocolate, white chocolate. You know, it's really up to you. If you want to do a butterscotch, you can do butterscotch chips. I'm sure there's plenty of other flavors. Peanut butter, do whatever you like. If you do peanut butter chips, not peanut butter, because the consistency won't turn out the same. So we'll come back and show you how this is when it's all done. All right, so the fudge has been chilling for about 3 hours while I've been doing other baking today. And you'll see why I put this in with saran wrap. So literally, I just pull this out. Pan is still clean. I can set that aside, use it for the recipe. And we can just cut this up. Now you can cut this now. You can cut it later. If you just pull the edges down, it's not very thick. You can see, let me zoom in a little bit here. Hopefully I can get that so you can see. It's not really thick because I did do a 9x9 pan, but these pieces, like I said, are super sweet. So honestly, you don't really need it that thick. If you have an 8x8 pan, it will be a little bit thicker because it won't spread out quite as much. So you can cut these now or you can cut them later. I'm going to cut one tiny piece off just to try it, and then I'm going to wrap it really well and wrap it with another layer of cellophane and put it in, putting it in some tin foil. So we'll just take a little tiny corner off of here to try it. And like I said, this is really delicious, and the corner's a little rounded too. So it's got a nice sheen. It's super smooth. There is no pieces outside or inside of the sugar, so that's why, like I said, you want to make sure you sift that. So please sift your sugar. So, that's delicious. So, I hope you enjoy. I hope you make this recipe. Like I said, this makes 2 pounds. Try any different type of chocolate you like. Add in flavorings if you so choose. Otherwise, if you just want simple chocolate, just use the vanilla. And yeah, let me know how you, if you try this recipe and how you like it. I think your family will love it. I'm sure they're going to enjoy it. I'm going to finish wrapping this and freeze it up. Freeze is great, and it cuts even better when it's frozen. So thank you so much for joining me today on The Messy Cook and the start of our Christmas baking series. So baking, cooking, it's not all baking, but yeah, I hope you enjoy. Take care. I hope you have a wonderful holiday with your family. Don't forget, change the recipes around for your liking, and I hope you subscribe.